I transmigrated into the novel as the villainous second male lead, and the first thing I saw upon waking was a divorce agreement. Riverdale, he's back. Just sign and leave, don't let him see you. I glanced at the figure on the check and immediately understood. My wife's soulmate was back, and she was telling me to step aside. I signed right away. Who wants to be a substitute? The divorce agreement was signed, and there was still a month-long cooling-off period before a divorce is finalized. I lay on the spacious bed in the mansion, feeling complicated. Having transmigrated into the novel as the villainous second male lead, I quickly adapted to life here. In the original story, the second male lead was obsessed with the female lead, who was now my ex-wife, and repeatedly caused trouble, eventually kidnapping her to threaten the male lead. As a result, he was blown to smithereens. Thinking of this, I clutched my debit card and sighed in relief as I looked at the balance on my phone. There are plenty of fish in the sea, it's just a woman. With money and a house, why should I be afraid of not finding a wife? Going against the male lead? That's just asking for trouble. I, Riverdale, am a normal man, and a sensible one at that. I would never do such a thing. Sign the papers, take it slow, life goes on. Just as I was about to sleep, my phone rang. The contact was saved as wife. Jennifer calling? Could she be regretting it? I haven't even had a chance to warm up the money. After answering, a cold voice came from the other end. Riverdale, take all your things away. Sean will be unhappy if he sees them. Just throw them away then. I was about to say that, but then I thought, why not take them? Jennifer might be a bit cold, but she was generous. The things she bought me were quite valuable. I cleared my throat and said, okay, I'll be right over. Afraid she'd change her mind, I hung up and headed over. When I arrived at the estate, I was surprised to find Jennifer there too. She was wearing a sophisticated black suit, barefoot, with light pink nail polish on her exposed toes. Her calves were smooth and straight, and she leaned casually against the sofa, her eyes deep, her makeup exquisite, exuding an air of indolence. Jennifer like this was stunningly beautiful and noble. In the book, Riverdale's grandfather had saved Jennifer's father, which was why they were able to marry. Otherwise, how could a small family like the Riverdales have climbed up to Jennifer? I shook my head. Forget it, time to pack up my things. I went up to the bedroom on the second floor, pushed open the door, and entered a room filled with coolness. The seasonal clothes in the closet were all designer clothes, some still with the tags on. I'm rich. I'll put the new clothes aside and sell them for a good price later. As for the others, I can wear them daily and save on clothing expenses. There were also a dozen or so watches in the drawer, as well as diamond cufflinks, and other odds and ends. Although I didn't know much about them, the logos made it clear that they weren't cheap. I packed all the clothes and accessories into boxes, a total of 8 boxes. Just as I was about to leave, I inexplicably felt a tightness in my chest. I couldn't help but sit on the edge of the bed, and on a whim, I bent down and pulled out a cardboard box from underneath. After opening it, I found a diary and a photo album inside. What's this? January 1st, Jennifer, I finally met her today. My father said she is my fiancée. I didn't expect her to be so beautiful. I think I'm falling in love with her. January 5th, the Smith family looks down on me. Jennifer talked to me and said that we are just a nominal couple. My heart aches a little, but I still agreed, as long as I can see her. March 11th, we got married. Jennifer set the date, saying it was the company's 10th anniversary, so we held it together. I have no objection. March 12th, Jennifer gave me an agreement, stating that I would have to leave when that person returned. I didn't want to sign, but faced with her eyes, I still compromised. Inside, Riverdale recorded every detail about him and Jennifer. After reading it, I felt a pang in my heart. What is this, a complete simp and substitute? Jennifer always had a cold face, yet Riverdale was able to stay with her for 3 years. Now that the real deal is back, he has to disappear. He probably died of anger, which is how I ended up here. I shook my head, put the diary back, and looked at the photo album again. After opening it, I was stunned. It was full of pictures of Jennifer, sitting, standing, scolding people, sleeping, everything. This Riverdale really loves her. I thought he was a possessive psychopath, but I didn't expect him to be so deeply in love. The album also had notes on the side, detailing Jennifer's preferences, big and small. But then again, Jennifer is beautiful and rich, who wouldn't like her? But you have to know your place and quit while you're ahead. I packed everything up and called a moving truck. As soon as I went downstairs, I saw a Rolls-Royce Cullinan pull up outside, and a man stepped out. He was about 5 feet 10 inches, with a fair face and glasses on his nose, slender. He looked a little melancholic and pale. His eyebrows and eyes were somewhat similar to mine, but I was much healthier and sunnier. You must be Riverdale? Thank you for taking care of Jennifer these past few years. I understood, this was the male lead, Sean. I gave a fake smile. You're welcome. Jennifer and I took care of each other, we're husband and wife after all. His face visibly darkened, and I sneered inwardly. Jennifer and I haven't even gotten our divorce certificate yet, and this man is already here. Just as I was about to speak, Jennifer exclaimed from behind, Sean. What are you doing here? A gust of wind rushed past me as she ran straight to Sean. Embracing him in front of me, she turned to look at me. Why haven't you left yet? Her eyes were cold and sharp, and I couldn't help but sneer. Jennifer, are you in such a hurry? If you're not thinking about yourself, you should think about the company. If people see or take pictures, Mr. Sean will become the other man. After all, we haven't gotten our divorce certificate yet. Jennifer's face was unsightly, and Sean frowned beside her, his eyes gloomy. I wasn't afraid at all, meeting their gazes head-on. Jennifer's expression was displeased. Riverdale, you promised. Yes, I promised, but I also have my pride. If you want a divorce, then wait patiently. I'm not a simp, especially after seeing them hugging in front of me. Even the pushovers can't tolerate that. Before Jennifer could speak, Sean pulled her away and said, First, you've misunderstood. Jennifer and I haven't seen each other in 3 years. Today, I'm just picking her up to catch up, and there are quite a few friends. If you're willing, why don't you join us? The friends of the male and female leads are naturally from the upper class. Don't force yourself if you can't fit in. No need, I have things to do. But let me give you a piece of advice. I pointed at Sean. There are differences between men and women, and your circle is quite messy, so be careful. After saying that, I looked at Jennifer. She should understand what I meant, and took a step back, keeping her distance from Sean. Sean's face turned black instantly. He looked at me, his eyes filled with frost. I snorted and headed straight to my estate with the moving truck. This is the estate that Jennifer put in my name, and with these clothes and accessories, the future won't be difficult. I sent all the new clothes to a second-hand store and sold them for 80% of their value, earning $300,000. I didn't keep any of the remaining accessories either, and my debit card balance was full again. Getting this much money after a divorce is great, I can just chill. However, I still need to work. The original Riverdale worked at the Smith family's company. Now that we're getting divorced, should I continue or quit? If I don't quit, she'll fire me, and I can get a severance package. Anyway, I've already transmigrated, I'm not going to suffer. I can only focus on making money. It's just that the male lead's aura is even more powerful than I thought. Overnight, trending on social media exploded. Jennifer called me early in the morning, roaring, Riverdale, are you doing this on purpose? I was stunned, and it took me a while to react. What are you talking about? You did that yesterday on purpose, didn't you? If I find out you hired someone to do it, you know the consequences. Before I could speak, she hung up. I was dumbfounded, looking at the phone notifications, and finally understood. Someone had taken pictures of me moving, and Jennifer and Sean were in the pictures. I don't know which paparazzi took them so clearly. Hashtag beautiful CEO of the Smith family divorces, suspected high school sweetheart comes back to be the other man. Hashtag Jennifer is the Smith family's most promising heir, and her marriage to me was just a formality. Not many people outside know, but people in the circle are clear about it. The paparazzi were able to expose it, who knows which fool it was? Now Sean has become the target of public criticism, and I've also suffered an undeserved disaster. After thinking about it, I tried calling Jennifer, but it was always busy. There was nothing I could do, so I sent her a text message. I don't want to cause any more trouble. Jennifer didn't reply, but the online trends started to change. Sean and Jennifer are high school sweethearts and were a recognized model couple at State University. That guy is the other man. My aunt works as a nanny at the Smith family's house, and she said that Riverdale forced Jennifer to marry him, otherwise why wouldn't they have a wedding? He left 3 years ago because he was forced to, and he couldn't make it back because of a car accident. Yeah, I said there's no way Sean would be the other man. It turns out he was set up. Riverdale is disgusting. Is Jennifer finally getting rid of this? Good for her. Sean became a love-struck fool, and I became a villain who would do anything to achieve his goals. Occasionally, a comment would say something fair for me, but it would soon be drowned out by those nasty comments and the account would be deleted. I was furious. Thief crying stop thief. They're so deeply in love, where were they 3 years ago? A car accident isn't death, couldn't he have called? Now he's pretending to be sentimental. Jennifer didn't reply to me, and I clenched my fists. If this isn't resolved, I'm not getting a divorce. Before I could find Jennifer, Riverdale's family came to find me first. I was just about to eat when the door was pounded loudly. Who would be causing trouble at this time? Opening the door, I saw a middle-aged couple looking at me with angry faces. My heart skipped a beat. I felt a surge of emotion deep inside. Riverdale, you're really something. You dared to move out, where's a mess? Smith? What are you standing there for? Your mother and I looked for you for a long time, and you're just eating. So these were Riverdale's parents. Come to think of it, in the original story, Riverdale's parents only used him. If they had given him more love, he wouldn't have been so resentful and ultimately gone down a dead end. But now that I'm Riverdale, of course I won't let them get their way. I sat at the table and ate my food. The woman in front of me slammed her hand on the table. You're still in the mood to eat. Otherwise what? Say what you want to say. If you're just here to scold me, there's no need. I don't want to listen. As soon as I finished speaking, she exploded. Let me tell you, Riverdale, you caused this mess. If you don't apologize, I won't spare you. Yeah, Riverdale, the Smith family cut off our supplies. You know that your brother's small company relies on the Smith family. Now that things have become like this, we can't show our faces. The two of them sang a duet, and I was really disappointed. So they can't survive, and only I can save the day. I didn't cause any trouble. Jennifer wants to divorce me. Don't ask around, she won't change her mind. Eat and leave. Otherwise, this estate won't be saved either. Hearing that, the two of them were dumbfounded and immediately flew into a rage. Riverdale, there's a marriage certificate. If the Smith family wants a divorce, we'll release the marriage certificate and see how she divorces. Marriage certificate? I raised my eyebrows. There's such a thing? Have you seen the comments trending on social media? Sean can turn from the other man into a true love-struck fool. What do you think a marriage certificate is good for? Believe it or not, as long as you release the marriage certificate, not to mention me, even you could disappear from this world overnight. I advise you to keep your heads down. I wasn't exaggerating. The Smith family's power in this city is not something our family can compare to. After hearing this, my parents were a little scared. Then they looked at me and silently lowered their heads to eat. For a moment, the living room was quiet. After they finished eating, I sent them out, and then looked back at the estate, and had an idea. I can't keep this house either, or else I'll have more trouble later. I found a real estate agent and put the estate up for sale. Looking at the cold home, I thought of Jennifer. She still hasn't replied to me. On the contrary, my phone is constantly flooded with abusive text message and harassing phone calls. I didn't want to pay attention to them, but after sending my parents away, I sat at home organizing my documents when I heard movement outside. Looking closely, I saw that some crazy fan had come to my door and even wanted to throw paint on me. Fortunately, the security guard restrained her and sent her to the police station. I stood at the door looking at her, and the woman roared like a madman, "Riverdale, you won't die a good death." I couldn't take it anymore and called Jennifer directly. After ringing a dozen times, she finally answered, and her cold voice came through, "Have you caused enough trouble?" Sean is back this time representing the Shin family, and he and our Smith family have a collaboration. If we don't stabilize the situation... I impatiently interrupted her. "Jennifer, your plans have nothing to do with me. However, let me remind you, cooling off period before a divorce is finalized. As long as I don't go through the procedures, this divorce won't happen. If you continue to let them throw mud at me, don't blame me. I won't give anyone face. I'll give you a day to deal with all the comments online. If you don't clarify, I don't mind helping you." After saying that, I hung up directly. Damn it, I have a temper too. Throwing mud at me. Even if I transmigrated, I won't let them treat me like this. Moreover, they know who the other man is. I don't know if it was because my harsh words scared her, but Jennifer quickly stepped in and posted a sentence on social media, "I hope everyone doesn't cyberbully." This drew praise from netizens for her beauty and kindness, and pushed me back into the spotlight. "Jennifer, you're something else." I asked my parents to give me the marriage certificate and bought it out for $3 million. It hurt to spend the money, but there was nothing I could do. I'll put this bill on Jennifer. The marriage certificate was in my hands, personally written by Mr. Smith, Jennifer's grandfather, and with his personal seal. "I'm really sorry, Mr. Smith, Jennifer's grandfather. Even after you passed away, I still have to drag you out to take the blame, but who told them to be so overbearing? But now is not the time, let the bullets fly for a while." Perhaps thinking that she had everything under control, Sean actually came at this time, accompanied by a real estate agent. After not seeing him for a while, Sean's aura had changed again. He was high and mighty, with an imposing presence. Now, his eyes were full of sharpness. "I'm buying this house." His tone made it impossible to refuse. I chuckled. "You have a lot of money. I'll pay 30% more than your asking price. I don't want Jennifer's things to fall into your hands. After selling the house, please leave the city." He shouldn't have said that. Now, I really won't do it. I'm not selling to you. Sure enough, Sean frowned slightly after hearing that and made a gesture. I knew that every time he made that gesture, it meant that he was determined to succeed. I held up one finger and shook it. "Sean, no deal. If you want to buy the house, have Jennifer come. Otherwise, don't even think about it." Sean's eyes were displeased, and he exuded a chilling aura, scaring the real estate agent into not daring to say a word. "Riverdale, do you really think I don't dare to touch you?" "Sean, Was your car accident really the reason you couldn't make it to the wedding? Hearing that, Sean's expression changed instantly. I couldn't help but shake my phone. I know all about your itinerary, even if others don't. If you don't want me to make us both suffer, then it's best not to appear in front of me. Get out! Sean gritted his teeth, looking at me with resentment, and finally left. This guy, he really thinks I'm an easy target. I don't mind getting a divorce from Jennifer, but I won't let her take my property. The Vass Smith family, they tried to get rid of me with $30 million and an estate. I agreed before because of the money. Now they're taking back the estate, I won't allow it. Moreover, the diary recorded that this estate was where Riverdale and Jennifer first met. The backyard was full of roses that Riverdale had personally planted. This was significant to Riverdale. I transmigrated and took over his body, and deeply felt the huge fear of losing the estate. Sean wanted the estate precisely because of the rose garden. He knew Riverdale's feelings for Jennifer, and he wouldn't allow anyone to covet her. So he wanted to destroy it. In fact, Sean was even more ruthless than I thought. When the sale didn't go through, he simply set it on fire. By the time I realized something was wrong, the smoke had already spread into the room. Fortunately, the security guard discovered the fire in time and rescued me. I had already passed out when I was pulled out. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital. Jennifer was by my bedside. Seeing that I was awake, she said indifferently, "You're okay, so I'll leave now." I grabbed her wrist. "Jennifer, he did it." We both knew who he referred to. Jennifer shook me off. "Riverdale, I didn't expect you to set a fire and frame Sean." "I framed him?" I laughed in anger. "Think whatever you want, but don't regret it." Jennifer's face was ugly, and she slammed the door as she left. I wondered, is this the female lead? How could someone so brainless be the female lead? She had to force me to show my evidence and rub her face on the ground. A day passed, and Jennifer's side started to take action, removing the trending on social media. I knew this was just on the surface. In reality, the Smith family had already begun to be dissatisfied with her. Marrying me was just to stabilize the situation. Now, wanting a divorce was not a good idea. I found Jennifer's cousin, Brandon. He swirled his wine glass, looking at me with a smile that wasn't a smile. "Riverdale, I underestimated you. The Smith family looks down on me, but even a small ant can turn over one day." I pushed a stack of documents over. "If you want to win, it's up to you." Brandon opened the document bag, and his eyes lit up after just one glance. "Reliable?" "Of course." In these 3 years, I wasn't just warming Jennifer's bed. I investigated everything I should have. Knowing that she had someone in her heart, and being favored by the eldest daughter, Riverdale couldn't help but be jealous of that man. He used all his connections to investigate Sean, and by accident, he died, allowing me to take his place. I didn't want to do this, but Sean wouldn't let me go. The Riverdale family's company was already on the verge of bankruptcy, and I was next. Brandon raised his eyebrows. "That's indeed sincere, but can Jennifer be taken down?" "Sean is still there. Don't worry, he won't be hopping around for long. Leave this to me." Brandon smiled at me, and we both raised our glasses and drank together. Originally, I wanted to take the money and leave, but Jennifer is a love brain and wants to protect Sean, and almost burned me to death, so don't blame me for fighting back. After coming out of the private club, I sorted out everything that had happened during this period, and just posted a wedding photo and marriage certificate on social media, instantly exploding trending on social media again. Netizens flooded my social media account. "WTF, wasn't it you who forced the marriage? Not divorced yet? Does that mean Sean is the other man?" "My Sean would never be the other man, you're just trying to clear your name. The rich circle is really messy." I'll just focus on eating my popcorn. Regardless of whether he's being sincere or not, Jennifer and Riverdale haven't divorced. Jennifer cheated while still married. During this time, Sean and Jennifer were like Siamese twins. Whether it was in public or at private gatherings, the two of them were photographed together in numerous scenes. Not to mention that they acted intimately every time they appeared. Sean even had the "This Is My Woman" vibe, and his brain-dead fans helped him edit a lot of videos. The scene was simply too beautiful, nailing Sean and Jennifer to the pillar of shame. My marriage to Jennifer was arranged by our parents, Thruff. There was no such thing as forcing the marriage. It was entirely the Smith family who came to our door. The marriage certificate is ironclad proof. Some netizens also questioned why we didn't have a wedding, and then a netizen anonymously posted a video of the wedding scene. Although it was held together with the company's anniversary celebration, all the necessary parts were there. I don't know who this kind netizen is, but they did a great job. The online buzz was getting higher and higher, and Jennifer couldn't sit still. She called me frantically, but I didn't answer. She came straight to my door. The estate burned down, so I had to stay in a hotel. Jennifer broke in. At that time, I was soaking in the bathtub. She turned her head away as soon as she rushed in, trembling with anger. "Riverdale, stop talking nonsense and delete your social media post." I sighed in admiration. "You guys slandered me like that online before, and Sean sent people to burn down my estate. Now you want to shut me up? Jennifer, you're not being sincere. If you're asking for help, you have to act like it." Jennifer took a deep breath. "I'll give you $50 million, and you clarify, saying that you forced the marriage back then and Sean wasn't the other man." She's really willing to say anything for Sean. Jennifer, don't you understand? Right now, you're not in a position to make demands. As long as I don't agree, no one will have a good time. You don't care if the Riverdale family goes bankrupt. I got out of the bathtub, put on my clothes, stood behind her, and hugged her, whispering in her ear, "The Riverdale family, what does that have to do with me?" She trembled all over, never expecting that I could say such a thing. And I held her waist tightly, sneering in her ear, "Jennifer, it's not too late to regret it now. Why don't you break up with Sean and we get back together?" I deliberately tested her, giving her one last chance. Jennifer pushed me away violently, looking at me fiercely. "Don't even think about it. Sean won't let you go." "All right, I'll see what other tricks your Sean has up his sleeve. You go out. We're almost divorced, and you still want to peep at me while I'm bathing. Sean might misunderstand." Jennifer turned around and left in anger. I couldn't help but smile, took out my phone, and sent a text message. "It's time to close the net." Jennifer couldn't deny it, and as soon as Sean opened his mouth online, he was immediately blasted into a sieve by netizens. He tried to do a live broadcast to explain, but he was quickly taught a lesson by the netizens who flooded in. Some even got in his face and asked him if he was the other man in our marriage. The marriage certificate and wedding photo were undeniable facts. No matter how Sean tried to clear his name, he couldn't change it, so he simply stopped talking. The more he didn't speak, the more he seemed guilty. I also released a video of Sean's debauchery abroad at the right time. This guy wasn't keeping himself pure for Jennifer. Abroad, he was enjoying himself with women on both sides. I even specially packaged it and sent it to Jennifer, hoping that they could have a calm and rational conversation. Brandon was in a great mood when he was drinking with me. Don't look at Jennifer's fierce exterior, she actually has a thing about cleanliness. She probably barely tolerated you, right? After getting together with Sean, it was like a total earth-shattering, explosive encounter. I didn't expect Sean to be a player. I couldn't help but smile. In the novel, Sean is the male lead in A, and countless women flock to him. How could he possibly keep himself pure for Jennifer? For him, as long as he doesn't marry, those women are just passers-by, just for fun. Brandon tapped on the table. When are you planning to get divorced? There are 7 days left until the cooling-off period before a divorce is finalized. You need to hurry. Brandon understood and released another wave of bombshells. These were videos and photos of Sean in a hospital abroad on the day of the wedding 3 years ago. Jennifer called Sean on the day of the wedding and even said that she was willing to run away with him as long as he came. Unfortunately, Sean was having too much fun with a woman in a hotel at the time and was sent to the hospital directly. In order to make Jennifer believe him, he even used a car accident as an excuse. Now, his image of a devoted lover has collapsed, and Jennifer was shaking with anger, having a big fight with Sean, which was also photographed by the paparazzi. Looking at Sean choking Jennifer's neck in the camera, with her shocked and hurt expression, I didn't feel sorry for her, but instead opened a bottle of red wine. What goes around comes around, Jennifer, do you see clearly now? This is your true love. What male lead, what falling in love over time, it's all just lust at first sight. Sean isn't a gentle second male lead. In his world, women are just appendages to men. Even though Jennifer was cultivated as an heir, she's still a little woman at heart. She couldn't accept Sean's betrayal, and Sean couldn't accept Jennifer's dictatorship. These two clashed head-on, and neither of them would take a step back and say a soft word, so naturally it wouldn't last long. When I saw Jennifer, she was soaking wet, wrapped in clothes, standing wetly at the door. When she saw me, she suddenly rushed over. I took 2 steps back. Jennifer missed, her face full of hurt. Riverdale, he lied to me, and even you don't want me anymore? In just a few days, Jennifer seemed to have aged more than 10 years. The once cold, beautiful, and stunning woman now had ruined makeup and was soaking wet. It was raining outside, and she just barged in like that, not knowing how many people saw her. But I didn't care. Jennifer, I'm not a garbage dump. Why are you regretting it now? My words stunned her. Riverdale, we're still husband and wife, why do you have to be like this? Husband and wife? That's a joke! Seeing Sean's true colors, you regret it and come crawling back to me? Disgusting! Jennifer looked at me in disbelief. You see, she knew that no matter what she did in the past, I would forgive her, especially seeing her in such a mess, it would definitely break my heart. But, I'm not really Riverdale. Seeing her act like this, I only felt that she deserved it. Jennifer clearly couldn't accept this version of me and hurriedly grabbed my hand. Riverdale, I was wrong, I misjudged him. Can you forgive me? I said expressionlessly, just because you were wrong, I have to forgive you? Jennifer, no one will wait for you in the same place. Riverdale, you don't want me anymore? You said you would love me no matter what. I raised a finger and shook it. If you had said this to me a month ago, I would have told you that I want you and I still love you. But now, I find you dirty. Jennifer staggered back a couple of steps and immediately looked at me, her lips moving. I didn't. Are you trying to tell me that you didn't sleep with that man? Emotional cheating is still cheating. I don't care how you explain yourself, anyway, in here. I pointed to my heart. There's no more room for you here. Impossible. Jennifer lunged at me frantically, her hands tightly gripping my arm, causing me to frown involuntarily. Then I looked at her and said, "What's the point?" No, I don't believe we just missed each other like this. Riverdale, you still love me, right? I'll change. Don't be silly, just go. I pushed her away and handed her the previous diaries and photo albums. Let's break up amicably. Remember to come to the town hall the day after tomorrow, otherwise I'll expose even more shocking stuff. Jennifer took the things and only glanced at them before bursting into tears. I closed the door expressionlessly. This woman may be beautiful, but she's muddle-headed, stupid, and bad. I definitely don't want her. 2 days later, Jennifer appeared on time in front of the town hall, looking noticeably haggard. She was still thinking about making a last-ditch effort with me. "Riverdale, can't we not get a divorce?" "I'm sorry, we can't." I refused her without hesitation, and her face immediately darkened. I smiled, patted her on the shoulder, and went inside. 10 minutes later, holding the bright red marriage certificate, I breathed a sigh of relief, waved at her, and turned to leave. Jennifer grabbed me. "We can start over. No one will wait for you in the same place." I could clearly feel the soul in my body trembling, and then feeling relieved. It seemed that the real Riverdale had also seen clearly and given up. Jennifer didn't want to and wasn't willing to let go, but how could I allow myself to be entangled with that woman? Next, I released the marriage certificate, once again pushing myself and her to trending on social media. Netizens flooded in. "Whoa, I actually followed up on the sequel. Bro, you really got divorced? Congrats, bro, you finally got rid of that. Bro, I apologize for cursing you before. Bro, how much money did you get from the Smith family after divorcing Jennifer? Can you reveal it?" The netizens were really concerned about me. There were also many paid trolls among them who wanted to falsely accuse me and see how many benefits I had received from the Smith family. I smiled. The inspection report from the fire department had clearly confirmed that my house was deliberately set on fire. The arsonist had also been caught and was now on trial. I didn't say much, just took a picture of the charred house and told them that I was homeless. Everyone saw it and started discussing it, and Sean was also pushed into the spotlight. Anyone with eyes could see that this fire was inseparable from him. This guy is really bad. If he can't get it, he resorts to drastic measures. Severely punish the murderer. I don't know what Jennifer is thinking, actually liking Sean. I used to think Sean was quite handsome, but now the more I look at him, the more greasy I find him. This kind of rotten cucumber should be given to Jennifer. I suggest things be locked together. Sean's reputation declined again. Brandon also began to exert his strength at the right time. Jennifer was questioned by the board of directors because of the divorce, and the various projects she was responsible for also experienced varying degrees of collapse. Brandon leaped up, devoured her shares, and, using the excuse of unfavorable public image, joined forces with other directors to dismiss her. Jennifer completely fell from grace. There was no way to resist. The servants of the old house secretly told me that Jennifer had started selling houses. The amount she embezzled was too large, and the board of directors required her to be responsible for her own profits and losses. It was estimated that she would have to sell a lot of houses this time. I was very glad that I divorced her, otherwise I would have to bear half of this debt. Sean wasn't doing well either. He returned from abroad, originally wanting to take the opportunity to reconcile with Jennifer to bring the Shin Corporation to a higher level. Unexpectedly, this time it backfired and directly exploded. The real estate company under the Shin Corporation was also exposed for using substandard materials and injuring workers. Actually, it wasn't a big deal. It would have been fine just to pay compensation. Unfortunately, Sean was used to being superior. Facing those troublemakers, he actually ordered the bodyguards to hurt people. It happened to be filmed by reporters. It coincided with the city's new construction and the filming of promotional videos. People above saw it and demanded severe punishment. In an instant, the image of the Shin Corporation plummeted. Sean was also arrested. It was said that when he was arrested, he still put on airs, saying that he was the president of the Shin Corporation and demanded that a lawyer come forward to severely punish the mastermind behind the scenes. I took the opportunity to spend a little money to send him to trending on social media. Sean was being beaten by everyone. Various legal experts gave him legal knowledge. I shook my head. As the overlord male protagonist, under the hands of the original author, he could disregard everything, and even if he did something illegal, it would be ignored. But under my influence, this world began to slowly normalize, and everything was on the right track. Sean spent a lot of money to get out, paid more than $2 million in compensation to the injured, and had to tear down all the buildings that had already been built and rebuild them. This was another cost. Moreover, the owners of that building spontaneously gathered and supervised the work every day. If there was any mistake, they would immediately call the police. Sean was suffering unspeakable misery. Seeing this scene, I smiled. A transfer message came to my phone. Brandon transferred me $100 million, which was the bargaining chip I wanted when I cooperated with him. With the money, I bought myself a large flat and then started taking orders myself. Life was simple and fulfilling. The next time I received news from them was half a year later. The Shin Corporation went bankrupt. Seeing the male protagonist being pulled down from the altar in the past 6 months, I couldn't help but be shocked. I didn't expect my appearance to actually cause the original world to collapse. I was a little scared. Could it be that because of the fall of the male and female protagonists, I would also be erased? I spent the past 6 months in fear and trepidation, and then I realized that it didn't seem to have any impact, and I immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Sean disappeared after going bankrupt, and I didn't care. When Brandon asked me out for dinner, I happened to meet Jennifer. She had a stinky face, and when she saw me, she couldn't help but be stunned, and then she reacted. "You two actually cooperated, Tom." Brandon shrugged. "You bet and you lose. You played a good hand so badly. It's your own problem." I smiled. Jennifer seemed unwilling to accept this fact and rushed up to question me. "Riverdale, how dare you?" I glanced at her, snapped my fingers, and immediately a waiter came over. "Can I help you?" I pointed to Jennifer. "I remember this store is membership-based. Why can she come in?" Jennifer was stunned. The man next to her immediately appeared, nodding and bowing to Brandon and me. "I'm sorry, I was just passing by today and came in for a meal." "Sorry for bothering you." He pulled Jennifer. "Hurry up and leave with me." Jennifer shook him off. "Who do you think you are to be bossing me around?" The man slapped her without hesitation. "Do you still think you're a pampered young lady? Hurry up and leave with me, otherwise you'll be in trouble later." Jennifer had never been subjected to such anger and started arguing with him on the spot. She was kicked out by the waiters. I looked at her back and smiled. "Did you guys sell her?" Brandon shrugged. "A brainless woman, her last value is to be used for arranged marriage. That man is a downstream supplier. With him, costs can be reduced by 20%. I shrugged. "That's true. Although Jennifer's brain isn't that good, this skin of hers isn't bad. Even if it was the woman I used to love, I didn't waver at all seeing her so miserable now. This was all her